Hey guys, it's Corrigan and Cody from Team Slap Phase. What kind of deck are we going over today?
I got the Maliss Striker. It's pretty basic. It's one of the best decks in the format right now, in my opinion. Um, I think it's technically better than Ryziel when it comes down to overall matchups. It just has a better way through different things. It doesn't die at a D barrier like the other one, which is a thrust target right now that everyone is playing because of Ryziel. So in general, I think it's just better.
All right, sounds good. Why don't you take us through the deck?
All right, we'll start with the main deck. So the Malice monsters, pretty basic, playing the 3 of the White Rabbit, 3 of the Dormouse, and 2 Chessie. Some people are playing one. I've realized that for the game ones, the second one does come up with different combo lines or just overall, like if you need that extra name to grind out the first game. By the time you hit the second game and you side in all of the cards that you try to stop your opponent with, you normally don't need the second one, so you normally end up siding the one of those out. Moving on to a few of the other monsters in the deck, we have the 1 dot, just as an extra Cyberse extender. You normally send this off of the Red Ransom. And then we got the 3 Bestials. I'm playing the 1 Magnemite and the 2 Druid's Worm. Um, the Bestials are probably better extenders overall, just because if you only have the one Malice name, you can normal summon, link off, and then use the Bestial to get into your 3 bodies you need for the link threes. I really do like them. I don't think you would ever want to cut those. Going into like the main spells of the deck, we have the 3 field spell, Malice and Underground. I do not play the terraforming because of the fact that you can search it off Red Ransom so easily. It is an extender if you end up drawing it, but it's also just better to search it, and then you have most of the bodies for everything else. Going into the Sky Striker engine, I'm deciding to only play 2 Engage and the Widow and Hornet drones. My theory on this was the 2 Engage is better than 3, just because if you end up drawing one of these, it normally shuts off the other Engages, so you only get the one search, and then the other Engages in your hand are bricks. Um,
Tell him he's wrong in the comments.
it works for me 4-1 today. I won most of my games. The only one that I lost was a mirror match, and it was just
Sample
because you
size
had more.
1!
Sample size multiple. I've won other locals too. Thank you, Chris. It works for me. If you want to change it, change it. All right. But anyways, going into the other spells of the deck, we've got the 3 Thrust. Playing this to search the Engages and other breakers for going second, and going first. If you get stopped, it's a good way to just set the D barrier. I am actually maining the D barrier right now as a thrust target. Um, because of how big Ryziel is in this locals right now, I just tend to play it. It does end up coming up a lot more often. Going into a few of my other thrust targets, I've got the 1 Signet Mining. I am deciding to only play 1 Allure of Darkness and 1 Gold Sark. And then I'm also playing the 1 Triple Tactics talent in the main. Um, I decided to do the Signet Mining in case I do get Lancia'd. If they Lancia'd me in the main phase, I can use Thrust to search the Signet Mining, get the extra body that I need of a Cyberse monster, and then combo without having to banish anything. Um, I haven't had it come up yet today. I was not able to hard draw it, and I didn't tend to need to thrust into it because of the number of names I had in deck. So if you want, you could switch out the Signet Mining for a second Allure of Darkness. That's total preference. Going into some more of the breakers that I play in the deck, I've got 3 Book of Eclipse, again, for the Ryziel matchup and some other side matchups that it can come up in. I've got the 1 Call by the Grave in the main, and then getting into the main traps in the deck, I've got one of each of the Malice names. I have triple Imperm and triple Impulse. Impulse is just such a good card right now. It shuts off the Fiendsmith engine, especially when you have the traps in grave already from your combo. If you just hit them on the Requiem or the Sequence, it ends up shutting off that entire engine, and then you can normally break through the rest of it with your other Malice stuff. This card is insane. The lock has come up before, so it's kind of hard to use this going first and then try to extend sometimes, but it's worth it overall. I do not play any main deck hand traps because I don't want to turn on thrust, talents, and other things unless I have to. That's why the only things I can really play on my opponent's turn in the main deck are the Bestials.
All right, let's see that extra deck.
So looking at the extra deck, the main link ones, 1 Kagari, 1 Lingaribo, 1 Link Decoder, and 1 Link Spider. All of these have come up in combo. A lot of the time, you need to go into the Lingaribo just to link off one of your Malice monsters, like I said before, to use the Malice and or use the Bystials and banish the Malices from the grave and get that extra body. You normally don't want to use the link decoder when you're doing that because you can use this later on for more extension. Um, it probably is possible to cut the Lingaribo though. I do kind of want to try to fit what's it called? The Link 3 transcode talker. I couldn't think of it. With the extension of the Splash Mage that we have, Transcode Talker can end up actually coming up to where if you get Lanciad and you can make Splash Mage still with the extra bodies, you can turn the Splash Mage into the Terahertz without even having to worry about your Malice combo, and that still puts more interaction onto the board. For other Link 2s, we have the Splash Mage, the Haggard Lizardos, and the SP Little Knight. The Haggard Lizardos is like the main Link 2 in the deck. I go into that one more than pretty much anything else. SP Little Knight has also come up just for some like crackbacks, but it's honestly one of like the weaker Link 2s.
What if I can't afford SP?
If you can't afford SP, I would play honestly like maybe a second Haggard just to come back next turn. But at this point with rarity, if you can't afford SP, then I guess win more. I don't know.
Skill issue.
At this point, yeah. Alright, so moving on into the main Link 3s in the deck, here's all the Malice monsters. We have the 1 Red Ransom, 1 White Binder, and the 1 Heart Scripter. This is pretty basic. The Red Ransom is your main combo piece to search out the field spell and get everything else. White Binder is another combo piece just to get your traps online, and then the Heart Scripter just to end up helping to break through boards. Getting the Heart Scripter in graveyard and still ending on Terahertz or Firewall Dragon feels really good, because if you can end up putting up that second interaction, it just goes crazy. Looking at the Link 4s, I'm playing the 1 Access Code Talker and the 1 Firewall Dragon. Both come up very often. Access Code Talker is an extender in this deck because you can banish your Malice Link monsters for cost in order to pop a card and then bring this back, and it can set up easy OTKs. The Firewall Dragon is a good interruption on your opponent's turn or good recursion, as you can bounce your Malices from grave back to hand, or you can end up bouncing monsters your opponent controls to try to out their board. The final Link monster I play in the deck is the 1 Neo Tempest Terahertz, and then to go with those, I play the 1 Packbit and the 1 Deceive Worm. The Terahertz is just such a good end piece. If you end up ending on Terahertz, it's very hard to out. It pretty much makes sure that they have to either try to nib you on your turn or imperm this first before they can play, because of how much the Deceive Worm and the Packbit can do. Putting the Deceive Worm into the grave in your own end phase immediately sets up the negate for whatever they try to do, and then the Packbit discarding a card and pushing a card back comes up way more often than I would like to admit. It's actually one of the better cards in the entire extra deck.
All right, show me the side deck.
All right. So for the side deck, it's a lot of thrust targets. We're playing the 1 Ultimate Slayer as a thrust target, along with the 1 Evenly Matched is the thrust target. Okay, it's not a lot of thrust targets, but it's important thrust targets. Ultimate Slayer comes up in the Ryziel matchup very, very often, and the Evenly Matched comes up for any of those side matchups that you need to end up thrusting into to like out back row, for example. If there's like pesky floodgates or something you need to get rid of, that comes up a lot. For the rest of the side deck, it's mainly hand traps and cross out targets. So I'm playing the 3 cross out designators with the 3 Lancia. This is to mainly work for the mirror match. You side in the 3 Lancia to stop them and then play on your own turn, and then you have the cross out targets in order to stop them from Lanciating you. I'm also still playing the 3 shifter in the extra deck for the matchups that 100% need the graveyard. Now with the Fiendsmith engine, if you play something that relies on the Fiendsmith engine, this card can shut them off pretty hard, but most of the time they're playing the Ryziel or Kashtira things to go with it, so they still have ways to play. It does come up in a lot of different like rogue matchups though. And then the last 3 hand traps are 3 Nibiru, again as cross-out targets, and to force interaction of Ryziel and Malice, because both do get hurt pretty bad by Nibiru. And the last card I have in the side is the 1 copy of the Mirror Logic Aggregator. This is to side in matchups like Ryziel, where I want to put in the Ultimate Slayer and try to out their Detonator or any other cards they have before I end up trying to commit to the rest of my combos.
What extra deck monster do you typically side out?
For this I normally end up siding out the Lingaribo. It doesn't come up as much because of the amount of extenders that you do have in the deck. So in the times that you side this in, it's worth doing this. And then if you have to, just go into Link Decoder instead. It does lose that Link Decoder extra body, but the rest of it works out a lot better with trying to break their board. But yeah, that's the whole deck.
All right. Thank you for watching, and please like, comment, subscribe, do all the fun stuff. We will see you next video. Have a good one.